It began like any ordinary trip. A quiet town by the coast, a family arriving at a small rented apartment, hoping for peace, laughter, and a few days away from the noise of the world. The sun dipped low, painting the sky orange, as the family carried their bags inside. Nothing seemed unusual, nothing seemed wrong, and yet behind those walls, something was waiting. As night fell, a profound silence descended, a quiet so complete it felt like a held breath. The streets outside grew unnervingly empty, the lights sputtering and dying one by one, plunging the neighborhood into gloom. Inside, Abigail and her husband Mark performed their nightly ritual. The click of the deadbolt, the rattle of the window latches, each sound a small prayer against an unknown dread, a fortress of normalcy against the dark. They tucked their children, Lily and Sam, into bed with whispered reassurances. For a moment, it worked. The apartment was a haven. Everything felt safe, until the scratching began. At first, it was faint, a dry scrape against the drywall of the children's bedroom. Abigail froze, her eyes meeting Mark's. He tried to brush it off. Old pipes, maybe a raccoon, but the sound didn't stop. It grew bolder, more rhythmic. Scrape, pause, scrape. This wasn't random. It was deliberate, moving inside the walls as if searching for a way in. Unable to bear it, Mark slipped out of bed. He crept into the hallway and pressed his ear against the cold plaster of the children's room wall. The moment he did, the scratching stopped. He peeked inside. Lily and Sam were fast asleep. He returned to the bedroom, shaking his head. "Nothing," he whispered. "There's nothing there." But now the silence was worse than the noise. The clock on the nightstand glowed. 2 a.m. It was a heavy, watchful silence, thick with terror. That's when Abigail saw it. A sliver of darkness in the hallway that shouldn't be there. The door to the children's room, which they always kept closed, was now ajar. A cold dread seized her. They crept toward it, peering inside. One bed was empty. Lily was gone. The silence was the first thing they noticed. Not the quiet of a sleeping child, but a profound, unnatural stillness. No broken glass, no muddy footprints, not even a draft from an open window. Confusion quickly curdled into a raw, primal panic. They ripped open closets, their child's name a desperate, ragged cry as they searched every corner, every shadow, as if the darkness itself had stolen him away. The 911 call was a choked plea. Soon, the sleepy town was painted in strobing reds and blues. Investigators moved with practiced efficiency, dusting for prints on the window latch, combing the carpets for foreign fibers. But the apartment was a sterile vacuum of evidence. No sign of a struggle, no forced entry. It was a crime with no criminal, a victim with no trace. The lead detective, a man who had seen it all, stood baffled. It was as if the boy hadn't been taken, but had simply ceased to be, swallowed whole by the night. In the absence of facts, fear took root. By morning, whispers slithered through the town. Some spoke of a strange car seen on the edge of town, a drifter seizing a terrible opportunity. The town's elders resurrected darker tales of forgotten service tunnels snaking beneath the foundations, a hidden labyrinth. But a few swore it was something else entirely, something not of this world. An old curse tied to the room itself, a malevolent entity slumbering within its walls. Theories swirled, a kidnapper, a secret passage, a supernatural horror. But they were just stories, because the one thing nobody had was an answer. Days turned into weeks, each heavier than the last. Unable to endure the oppressive silence, the family fled. They packed in a frantic haze, leaving behind a life they no longer recognized. The mother, pausing at the door, wasn't just haunted, she was broken. They couldn't bring themselves to touch the child's room. The door was closed, but the room remained. It became a place of profound silence, a vacuum where laughter once echoed, a place of stark, painful absence. Sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating dust motes dancing over toys left in mid-play. The stillness wasn't peaceful. It was watchful, heavy with unspoken questions. The very air seemed to hold its breath, waiting for a return that would never come. The police investigation stalled. No forced entry, no witnesses, no logical explanation. As official interest waned, paranormal investigators and psychics arrived. In the dead of night, some claimed they too could hear it, the faint, persistent scratching from within the walls. A warning, a memory, a ghost of what had been lost. To this day, the vanishing remains a cold case. Was it a meticulously planned crime, a tragic accident, or had the family stumbled upon something far older, something beyond our understanding? The truth hides in the shadows of that small room, refusing to be found. And so the apartment stands empty, a silent witness to a mystery that festers with each passing year. It's a chilling reminder that the scariest stories aren't the ones we invent. They are the quiet, unanswered questions that linger in empty rooms, the ones we simply can't explain.